Good morning, student. In my previous video, I have discussed the structure of the DNA molecule. Now, in this video, I shall discuss the expression of the gene. That means how this DNA molecule is expressed in the form of proteins and in the form of character. Now, that is called the gene expression. That means how this gene or the DNA is expressed inside the cell. And it was for the first time explained by F.H.C. Crick, that is called central dogma. The central dogma is the pathway through which the information actually flows from DNA to mRNA to protein. That means whatever information regarding the continuation of the generation is stored here in the DNA molecule. So DNA molecule stores all the information regarding the characters of the offspring. So that is why this DNA is also called the storehouse for all the genetic information for the future generation. Now, this DNA molecule, which has the most important property, that is called DNA replication. That means this DNA molecule can form another DNA molecule, and the new DNA molecule is normally sent to the next generation organisms for the expression of the character. So this is the first important property, and we shall explain in detail. Now, next is your transcription process, by which the DNA forms the mRNA, and the information which were stored there in the DNA molecule, it is transferred into the mRNA in the form of the genetic code. We shall discuss it later on. Now, this mRNA then transcribed, or that process is called the translation. By this translation process, it will form the protein molecule, and the protein molecule are the complex molecule which form the different characters in the organisms. Okay, but another important process, when there is mRNA is the genetic material in some cases where DNA is not there. In some organisms, like some viruses, their RNA is the genetic material, and all the information are stored here in the RNA. Then how the genetic information flow there? So in case of retroviruses, the genetic information from the RNA, it normally form the DNA, again DNA to mRNA and to protein. So that is why this is another important process by which the retroviruses, they normally prepare their characters in the form of protein. Now, we shall discuss in detail about the first phase of the gene expression, that is called your DNA replication. That means how one DNA molecule can synthesize another DNA molecule. And this process of DNA replication, it was explained as the semi-conservative nature of DNA replication. Semi-conservation means, semi means half, conserve means half is conserved or stored or protected. Semi means half of the DNA molecule. That means DNA molecule has two strands. Out of these two strands, one strand is conserved and another strand formed new. So both the strands are not new, but one strand is act as the template and another one is the new. So this is called the semi-conservative nature of DNA replication. Okay, it was actually given by, this view was given by Watson and Crick. Watson and Crick gave the view of this replication process, but it was experimentally verified or experimentally proved by Michelson and Stahl how this semi-conservative process of replication occurs in the DNA molecule. Now, for this they took the E. coli bacteria as their specimen, and when they cultured the E. coli bacteria in the N15 nutrient medium, that means the nitrogenous base, which is having some radioactive nitrogen. So that is why this DNA molecule which was synthesized there, it was having only N15 DNA, because it was grown in the N15 medium. They took the ammonium chloride as in the medium, it is having the radioactive ammonium chloride in the medium, so that whatever DNA molecule synthesized, they have the N15 in their strand, the nitrogenous bases. Now, after that, he transferred the E. coli bacteria into the N14 medium. That means the medium which contains the N14, not N15. So when the DNA replication will occur, what will happen? Whatever new DNA strand will form, it will take N14 only because it will not get N15 in the medium. So that is why in the first generation, after 20 minutes, they isolated the DNA and again they go for then that is centrifugation process, and here they surprisingly found in the first case only N15 were there. That means they were settled in the bottom because the gravitational force is more. Here the gravity is more, that means the molecular weight is more. Then here what happened? The hybrid DNA is there. So that is why it is settled in the middle. Okay. So that is why here another generation, for second generation, they again cultured in the same N14 medium, and when the generation will continue, what happens? This hybrid DNA will form this type of two DNA during the process of replication. So one strand, suppose this is one strand and this is another strand. Suppose when these two strands are separated, one strand go there and it will synthesize a new strand. Here what happened? One strand was red, it is the old strand, and the blue, it is the new strand. Here also, the red, it is the old strand and it is the new strand. So in this way, two hybrid DNA molecules were synthesized here. But here what happens? Suppose these are now separated. One strand will go there. This is the old strand, and it will synthesize the new strand, and the new strand always N14 because in the medium only N14 is available. There is no N15. Now another strand, the red one, this red strand when comes here, the red one synthesizes the blue one. So red one, it is the old strand and blue is the new strand. So that is why it is the hybrid strand. This is the hybrid DNA. Here also the same way, this DNA molecule will synthesize one hybrid DNA and another new N14 DNA. Okay, so here the ratio of hybrid DNA and N14 DNA, it is 1:1. You will find here 1:1 ratio. So how it is proved that there are hybrid and N14 1:1? One we centrifugation, then the N14 settled here because the molecular weight is low. Then the N15, N14 hybrid settled here, and there is no N15 DNA because it is settled at the bottom. So it indicates that gradually the N15 strands are decreasing and N14 strands are increasing, and hybrids are, after this generation, again this strand will separate, these two strands will separate, and the new strands will be N14 type. Here the new strands will be N14 type. So only one hybrid will be there, or one hybrid here and one hybrid here, and all others will be now N14. That means gradually the N14 are increasing and N15s are decreasing. The hybrids are also decreasing. From this, it indicated that the replication of the DNA molecule, it is semi-conservative type. So from this experiment which was conducted by Mijers and Stahl, it was experimentally verified that actually the DNA replication is semi-conservative type. Now we shall discuss the replication process in detail. How this DNA molecule actually replicate to form another DNA molecule. So there are some enzymes which are required for this process, because in the biological system, in the biological process, the role of the enzyme is very much important. So that is why the enzymes which are normally involved in this process, that is the first most important enzyme, that is the helicase enzyme. This helicase enzyme actually it uncoils and unzip the DNA strand. Normally the DNA strand is like this. This is a double helical strand. So this DNA strand again coiled with one another. So that is why first click will occur and it will uncoil the DNA strand. So whenever it is coiled there, then it is uncoiled. It becomes straight. When it becomes straight, then it will click it and the two strands now uncoil, and this is one part, and this is a fork, and this is another in this part, now like this. So here the DNA strand is now form a fork here. So this is the role of the helicase enzyme. It click and form the fork, or it is called replication fork. This is called replication fork, and this replication fork, it is very much important for the origin of the replication process. Now next important enzyme, that is called RNA polymerase enzyme. This RNA polymerase prepare an RNA primer. A primer is essential for the start of this replication process. Just like the engine is required to draw a train, so that type of this primer is the initial molecule which actually helps in starting this process. So that is why this RNA primer is synthesized by the special enzyme that is called RNA polymerase enzyme. And this RNA polymerase, it forms the primer molecule that is called RNA primer. Then another important enzyme, it is the most important enzyme in this process. This is the DNA polymerase, polymer and polymerization. That means the polymerization of the DNA strand. So DNA strand consists of the nucleotides. So these nucleotides are normally, suppose this is one nucleotide, another nucleotide, another nucleotide. These nucleotides are now joined together to form a polynucleotide chain. It is a polynucleotide chain, and this polynucleotide chain, it is a polymer of this DNA or nucleotide. So that is why this enzyme actually joins the nucleotide together to form a polynucleotide chain. Now next one, that is the DNA ligase. Sometimes this DNA molecule, the strands are synthesized in small pieces, and the small pieces of DNA molecule are joined together with the help of the ligase enzyme. So this ligase enzyme joins the small pieces of polypeptide or polynucleotide chain, and they form the complete chain of the DNA molecule. Now these enzymes also play a very important role in this process, but the actual mechanism starts here. You can take the DNA molecule here. This is the DNA molecule, and this DNA molecule actually, how it forms two DNA molecule. This is the parent DNA molecule. This is the template DNA, you can say. This is the template DNA. Now this template DNA, it synthesizes two new DNA. This is one new DNA. This is another new DNA. So these two new DNA are synthesized from the parent template DNA. Now, as we have already studied, A is there if in a particular strand. Suppose when it is on G, so here G is here C, here A, here T. So when these bases are here, their complementary bases will no doubt join here. And these complementary bases, suppose it is in the old strand, suppose T is here. Look at here, this is the T. That means in the old strand, this is the red color old strand. This red color old strand, it is having T. That means when a new strand will be synthesized here, the new strand, in the new strand, the nitrogenous base having the A nucleotide, this nucleotide will join here. If it is C, then it is only G. And if it is G, then it is C. So, इसी तरह से it is formed. Now, how this process initiates, we shall study in detail. The first one, that is your origin. What do you mean by origin? Origin means the start of the replication process. So sometimes this origin unidirectional. Unidirectional means what? That means it continues. Suppose this is the DNA strand, and it will continue, it click here and it will continue in only one direction. Then it is called unidirectional. But sometimes when the DNA molecule is very long or very large, at that time in many places the replication process continues. Suppose this is continuous, this is and this is. So that is why in 3, 4, 5 and there are so many places the origin point starts. So that is why this is called bidirectional. Sometimes it flows in unidirectional in only one direction, and sometimes it flows in both directions. So that is called bidirectional. So that is why the DNA replication either unidirectional or bidirectional, but the process remains the same. Always this process starts from 5-N to 3-N. That means the template which is must be having 3 days to 5 days. So 3 days to 5 days template, it will form the 5 days to 3 days end. Now look at the chain here in the simplest form. Now suppose this is the DNA strand, and this DNA strand having 5 days end here, and this DNA strand having 3 days here. So when the replication fork is formed, then this strand 5 days to 3 days, and the synthesis of the new strand, this is the old strand, and this one it is the new strand. So new strand always synthesized in this direction. Suppose it is opening in this way, it is opening or unzipping in this way. So the new strand forms in this way, and it will move from 5 days to 3 days direction. Now in case of next strand, here what happens? Suppose this is the 3 days end and this is the 5 days end, and unzipping occurs from this direction, but the new strand will be having 3 days end here and 5 days end here. So it will never continue in this direction, because the new strand must synthesize from 5 days to 3 days end. So that is why when it will zip first here, so it will start a piece here. A small piece is formed here, the 5 days end, and here 3 days end. Another small piece, it is formed here, it is 5 days, again it is 3 days, it is 5 days, and it is 3 days. So this type of small pieces are formed. And this strand which is formed in this way, this is called lagging strand. As we have already discussed, that is the lagging strand. And this strand which is formed continuously, this is called the leading strand. It is the leading strand, and it is the leading strand which continue in the straight direction till the completion of the DNA replication. And this strand will continue, it will unzip and it will continue in this direction, and the whole DNA will be formed in this way. But in the next strand, what happens? It always forms in small pieces, and these small pieces are called Okazaki fragments. These are called Okazaki fragments. Okazaki fragment. And these small pieces of Okazaki fragment, lastly, they join together. When they form completed, then the RNA primers are removed and they are joined with one another by the ligase enzyme. The ligase enzyme join them together. Now, this new molecule which is synthesized, it is on the basis of the complementary basis. Suppose here A is there, then synthesized here. Suppose C is here, then in the new strand you will find G. Suppose here T, then here A. So in this way, the new strand, it is the complementary to the old strand. So old strand, it acts as the template strand. It is the template strand, and the new strand, it is the normally the new strand. It is just completely copy of the template of a complementary form. So here, next is after winding of the DNA, next the unzipping occurs, then the replication fork is synthesized or formed. Then after the synthesis of the RNA primer, the RNA polymerase enzyme synthesizes the RNA primer. Then this RNA primer actually it starts the process, and the addition of the nucleotides one after another, A, T, C, G, like that, it occurs continuously with the help of the DNA polymerase enzyme. Now, this DNA polymerase is continued to form the new strand till the completion of the process. Now, what is the speed of this process? In case of E. coli, now it contains around 4.6 into 10 to the power 6 base pair in its DNA molecule. Now, to complete the entire replication or replication of the entire DNA molecule which is present there in the E. coli, it takes around 38 minutes. So if it takes 38 minutes, normally the speed is around 2000 base pair per second. So that is why your bacteria replicate within 20 minutes. If the bacteria replicate within 20 minutes, then within 20 minutes, it has to complete all the replication process, the DNA replication process, and the formation of the new organelles which may be there in the inside the cell. So that is why it takes around 38 minutes before the synthesis, then it forms the new organism. Now, this process of DNA replication, it is semi-conservative type as we have already studied. Now, a complementary bases which are formed. Look at here how these complementary bases are formed. Suppose sometimes a problem is given to you. Suppose your DNA, it is having the DNA strand, it is old DNA, or you can say the template DNA. Suppose it is given that the template DNA is having the A, T, C, G, G, C. Then sometimes asked what will be the new strand or the nitrogenous base sequence in the new strand. So here A always form the complementary base with T. T means A, C, it will be G, G it will be C, and G it will be C, and C it will be G. So this is the sequence of the new strand of the DNA molecule which is synthesized during this replication process, and this acts as the template. So that is why whatever new strands are synthesized, they are just the complementary bases. So that is why these complementary bases always same, and that is why whatever new molecules are synthesized by this process, they are the exact copy of the parent. They are exact copy of their parent, because no any change or deviation. If there is A means there is T. No any other base will join here. So if there is G, that means here will be C. So that is why no any other base will join here or nucleotide will join here. So that is why the DNA molecule which is synthesized, suppose this is one DNA and it will synthesize two DNA, suppose this is one strand, it is conserved, and the new strand, it is formed. So new strand is the complementary one. So in this way, so that is why these two, they will synthesize again one other old strand. This is the new strand, old strand, and here also one old strand, another old strand. Then this old strand will form the new strand. This old strand forms the new strand. This old strand forms this new strand, and this old strand forms this new strand. So in this process, whatever new strands form, they are the complementary to their old strand. So that is why always the new strands are exact complementary. So that is why the DNA always synthesizes another DNA, no doubt, but it is the exact copy of the DNA. So that is why it is very much stable generation after generation, and normally there is no variation occur in the DNA base sequence. So that is why normally there is no variation occur in the character of the organism. If you feel that this video is helpful for you, then please like it and subscribe it.